Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Major Minor. It's been a good bit. This is Cross. So last time we began Chapter 4, or at least I believe we did. Yeah, we started it up and we got shoved into like a bit of a controversy, so to speak. And now we're like it's stuck in a hotel with a couple of dumb idiot losers. So let's continue on. Oh god, 4 hours? For 4 hours and 32 minutes of my life I'm never gonna get back, huh? Well, let's see. Okay, so we gotta choose to hang out with. I've already decided who should I hang out with to pass the time. I guess I'll hang out with these two losers. I mean, Shock is kind of entertaining. He just gives absolutely no fucks. Like, literally none. So I'm going with him. I decided to go spend time with Shock and Rocker. That was what I won for like a contest after all. The ability to spend time with celebrities, even though the situation was less than ideal. I would actually like to hear what they have to say. They were certainly close to Clace. Rocker seemed like he was holding up okay. But I'm wondering how Shock was taking this. I was also hoping they might play me some songs. But given the circumstances, I highly doubt it. As I walk towards them, I make eye contact with Archeron. He nods at me before resuming his lookout. It isn't long before I make it Shock and Rocker. However, I seem to intrude upon an argument. Perhaps I could have picked a better time. You're talking nonsense, Rooker. Why don't you think before you speak? I swear, I really do hate how they all have the same introductory pose. I'm gonna fucking kill someone. God, okay. No offense, but makes you stupid. It makes perfect sense, man. You're just too daft to understand, says the southerner. You calling me stupid? You calling me stupid? No more than you are already doing to me. You should know how smart I am. Clace's lead guitarist can't be dumb. It takes a certain level of intelligence. But I'm his lead guitarist, not you. They both take deep breaths and turn to greet me. So you're the fanboy, right? Shock, they're not a fanboy, they're our honored guest. Yeah, right. How much you spent on Popstar? You must be quite the rabid fan. Look at all that blind devotion. Shock, don't be rude. It's true when you think about it, Rocker. We earned our spot beside Clace, right? We didn't buy a red carpet to walk in on. Damn. Clace was a person like anybody else. You can't buy his attention, Minato. Well, I mean, now that he's dead, you can't buy his attention for sure. Well, you do make a good point, Shock. I apologize on his behalf, however. He's prone to believe and he's always right like a fucking bitch. This is what he really meant to say. He appreciates your devotion to Clace, and him and Shock were childhood friends. Childhood friends? I guess it goes deeper than I thought. Shock doesn't seem to be too affected by the murder. In fact, he just seemed like an all-around jerk. And I'll also apologize for my own actions. You walked in on an argument between us. It's rare that I get heated up. It's true, Rocker isn't one for arguing. Hearing him raise his voice is rare. In fact, I forgot what our fight was even about. We were talking about living on after death, specifically how I think it's possible. Oh, okay, so Shock is an atheist and Rocker is a Christian or a cat. Well, I mean, it makes sense that Rocker believes in, like, Jesus or something. I mean, he is Southern. You mean, like, zombies? No, Shock, not like zombies. Let me explain it to you this way. Maybe we can convince Minato. Great, I love hearing things twice. Well, if you'll let me begin, there's no need to be a jerk about it. Alright, go on then. Well, I know Clace is gone and all, but it's possible for him to have lived on, especially in his possessions in art. This bitch sounding like Angie Yonaga, praise Atua. Shock seems to think that death is final, a little fucking atheist, a little hypocritical if you ask me. He's been chugging pop stars all day. Sales of those are likely going to inflate, not for the reason we'd want, of course, but Stars are given lots of posthumous coverage. It's childish to think Clace is gone. He'll live on in so many ways. I disagree entirely. Clace is gone for sure. You could I'm gonna play the Scrum debate theme in the background of this. This is so fucking stupid. Clace is gone for sure. All that stuff is superficial bullshit. Then what about his albums? People be buying them in droves. Previously recorded albums, you mean? Clace will never sing live again. All that's left is memories of the past. But you can live on in a memory. That's what I'm trying to say. No, you can't. That's stupid, Rocker. A memory will never replace his voice. It's a mockery of what we've lost. If you really think memories suffice, then you weren't close to him at all. Nothing can replace the real thing. That's not what I meant at all. I didn't say it'd have to replace him, just keep his memory intact, you know? No, I don't really know. All I know is Clace is dead. He's not coming back, and that's final. You can sugarcoat it any way you want, but that's what they call denial. He's outlived by commercial trash. I didn't mean to strike a nerve, but musicians like that tend to live on, sometimes even after centuries pass. I don't see Clace being any different. He has fans to carry on his legacy. He does. Shocking. Oh, come on, Minato. You got my back here, right? No one's gonna be gone if we can remember him. At least that's what I like to believe. How can you side with that? Dead is dead, and that's a fact. Legacy is not an apt replacement. It'll just make the company more money. They'll milk his death for more profit. That's what happens when anyone dies. You're with me on this one, right? You know what? You know what? Rocker is kind of right morally. However, if you take if you get rid of morals out of the question, because the game is trying to trick you into thinking Rocker is right. And I mean, he kind of is, if you account for morals. However, if you count logic. So this is basically logic versus reason. Kind of like in Tales of Berseria, where the entire conflict of that game is logic versus reason. Knowing this game and how we've already seen that the dead, well, they may as well be gone because the dead end up in Terra, and I mean Terra may as well be hell. And I mean, as much as Rocker wants to be they're not gone, we have the memories, and I mean, they're just memories. I mean, he's not wrong. Well, I mean that, and in order to get another true ending flag, I have to side with Shock, so I may as well anyway. Outside of his design, I think I like Shock better anyway. Rocker's a fucking, weeb, and I don't trust weebs, as seen with Keela, so Shock's glad you're on his side. I feel a little odd being put on the spot like this, but I have to side with Shock. It best projects my personal views on the matter. Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. I don't want anything but honesty with these. I don't want to anything but honest with these two. Okay. The death of a celebrity is often commercialized. It wouldn't be a projection of the real Clace. Shock seemed like he was really close to the pop star. I can therefore understand why he's not okay with this. Wait, I didn't expect that. I'm always alone in my opinions. I expected you to side with Rocker. You're not as alone as you think, Shock. Perhaps you should apologize now. You were quite rude to Minato earlier. I guess. Sorry I judged you like that. I hope I didn't offend you. I accept his apology with indifference. It didn't really offend you or anything. Now you can't say you're always alone. You've got an ally here, Shock. Something like that. No need to mock what you know. Either way, we shouldn't waste time arguing. For once, I'm choosing to end the fight here. Don't act all surprised, though. I am a little surprised, actually. You usually fight until you're winded. I don't think Clace would approve of this. He wouldn't want to see us fighting at all. I mean, we're on the topic of honoring him, so we should think about what he'd want. He hated when we fought, after all. Fair enough, actually. If he were here, he'd stop us both, just like he usually did. Maybe that's why it went on so long. He wasn't there to get in the way. I guess he did keep us in line, especially during our most popular fight. What, did people, record this fight? Go on. Who Clace's lead guitarist was. I know, right? It's pretty clear that's me. Uh-oh. Scrum debate steam. Hey, that's not true. Well, I mean, can he really have, like, a lead guitarist if he's dead? Like, come on, shut up, he's dead, so move on. I laugh softly and I turn away. It isn't long until they act as if I'm not there. It seems to be cyclical with the two of them. I'm sorry, I can't fucking read. I'm, like, actually dumb. I never went to college. Arguing, making up, and arguing again. It was almost like a sibling dynamic, except neither of them looked like good people. Well, I mean, Rocker has a good design. He's, like, probably one of the best design characters in this game, but even then, I wasn't about to take sides in their current fight. They were both extremely talented guitarists. Well, gee, if only we had an example of their music to hear. Fuck, man, maybe I wouldn't need to, like, mute the music if their music was that good. It was like arguing was their way of showing affection. If they hated each other so much, they wouldn't hang out. I mean, you've ever heard of frenemies before? They clearly found some sort of enjoyment in this. Maybe it's just a business venture. Perhaps I'll get to learn more about them later. At least I'll have to split them up first. I don't think I could get anything out of them both. They get caught up in some sort of fight first. Would you like to save your game? Yes, I would. Please. Okay. So I'm gonna play for just a tad longer. So I walk back to the center of the room and look around. It appears that everyone's anxious and restless. It must have been a long night for them all. But answers are so close, so we all hold out together. I scan the room a few times over, and eerie silence fills the area. I feel like perhaps I should break it. But before I can do anything, the large doors open. Someone walks out and exchanges glances with everyone. This must be Singe and the conference room entrance. Oh god. The return of the, I don't even know what accent I use for this guy. I genuinely don't. If you could tell me, I would appreciate, because I don't know what the fuck I'm even... Thank you all for coming here today, even though we've all had no sleep. I'm honored that you chose to be here. He bows to us much like Rocker. I want to punch every single character in the face whenever they do this stupid introductory pose. In a few minutes, the press will come. The doors will be unlocked for everyone. I'd be honored if you came in first. I'd like for all of us to be on stage. I want us to appear united in this crisis, as a team, with nothing between us. We've been dealt with tragedy. We need to show the world our strength. We are a family, even in grief. Our public image is very important now. We must remain as resolute as possible. We can't have anything falter today. Please come and take your seats with me. We will begin as soon as the room fills up. He bows again and goes back into the conference hall. Not a moment later, we all start to follow him, unsure of what the conference has in store, and unsure what shocking truths await the world. We're not in for a good time, I don't think. This is gonna be so autistic. The morning after the tavern. Oh, we're back on Terra. The morning after the tavern incident. Oh dear. What the fuck? Oh, it's Trump. I'm sorry, this is a lot to take in. Would you mind starting from the beginning? I haven't had my morning coffee just yet. You mean, coffee? My mind is cloudy to say the least. You're not the only one who's taken aback. These events shocked me as well, my lord. I apologize for keeping my agenda hidden. You would have never endorsed my actions, even if they were for the greater good. So I had to take things into my own hands. Of course, and I still don't believe it. Emo and Colgate are my most trusted allies. I laughed at the notion of their betrayal. I'd never dedicate resources to that. Yet, here we are, here in the present. You have evidence backing up your claim. Of course, I always validate my word. Last night I ventured into the tavern. Emo and Colgate were there as well, but they had someone with them, an immigrant from another world, one they will not be giving to you. In fact, they're bringing him to Velasquez. This directly violates your truce. Were they not to bring everyone to you? You're keeping tabs on this immigration. Yes, that was the plan, Riley. All of it should go through to me. Easier to keep track of that way. Is there a chance you misheard things? Perhaps they used Velasquez as a cover, just in case anyone overheard. Impossible. They filed the paperwork. This immigrant is now fully sanctioned. They violated the truce, my lord. Indeed, that is irrefutable proof. He's not even going to provide the paperwork. Okay, fine. If you die, Lord Player, I mean, you kind of deserve it, you jackass. It's impossible for me to work with that. This immigrant is now in the records. But I wonder, what does Velasquez want? Of all people, he wants an immigrant? They must be quite an important person. Of that I'm unsure, but I feel like it's irrelevant. No explanation can excuse betrayal. And you know Velasquez's stance on that. He's too friendly to these off-worlders. I'm glad I was able to open your eyes. You're right, and I appreciate that, but now my curiosity is affecting me. Just who could this immigrant be? My two main allies would dare betray me, and the king wants to see them personally? There might be more here than meets the eye. Again, I'm not sure, but you could ask them yourself. I did what you would have wanted, my lord. I took action after seeing this betrayal. It was either that or let them win. I paid this off-worlder a visit. One thing led to another, however, and they ended up, quote-unquote, passing out. It was unfortunate, of course, but an opportunity presented itself. I took them. They're in our prison. Are they? It sounds like they got, like, teleported back into the fucking thing, unless whenever they're, like, switching worlds, they die, and so he carried a fucking corpse back to the prison. But okay, fine. Along with the other immigrants. What? Nani? Riley, how could you be so foolish? I can't believe what you're telling me. Do you realize what you've done? You've abducted a legal immigrant, one that's wanted by the king. Velasquez will have us under scrutiny. You keep coming to me with revelations. First it was that Kalen were for rioting, but then you go and do this to us? We'll have two assassins targeting us. Assassins that never kill anyone. They're the worst. Under the pressure of a royal mission, too. And everything was going good for once. You damn fool. My fucking badge. I can't believe you've done this. Discretion was our greatest ally, Riley. 2 guilds will soon be upon us. 2 guilds, okay. Please, Lord Player, I can explain. There must have been a lapse in your judgment. Trust me, this is far worse than a lapse. If I didn't trust you, I'd almost think... Player stops in the middle of his sentence. At that point, he comes to a shocking revelation. You wanted me to get caught. Dun, dun, dun. Wow, what a dumbass. He only just realized that, I guess. Oh, Lord. Okay, how long have I been recording for? Let me see. 17. Okay, I'll keep going for a bit longer. We all file into the conference room, one by one. Everyone brings their sense of anxiety with them. It isn't long until we reach the stage area. It's lined with enough seats to fit us all. We stare onwards at the empty room before us. Soon it would be filled with those who seek answers. Fans, press, everybody in between. But there was a common goal among them. Enlightenment. I sit on the far right side with Killa to my left. Then there's Archeron, Sin, Shock, and Rocker. A woman with long yellow hair is there as well. Inumi sits beside her with Rook to his left. It seems like everyone is here save for Jade. But when the doors open, people spill in. Sure enough, she's among the press and citizens. It seems like Archeron and Singe are getting along. They're lost in conversation among themselves. I would have started the conference long ago, but Singe is probably waiting for latecomers. After a while, he picks up his microphone. It appears that every seat on the stage has their own. Would I be expected to talk during this? The moment Sin speaks, the crowd becomes silent. I'd like to... He cuts himself off. There's extreme feedback coming from the mic. Some in the audience cover their ears. I'd like to thank all of you for coming. What was the point of that besides wasting time? I know it's early, but this has to be done. A longer wait means more restlessness, and that means filling in the blanks. I've called you here to be fully open. Something has hurt us profoundly. We'll carry it with us forever. It'll scar us for years to come. So please, be respectful. There'll be no flash photography today, or recording of any videos for that matter. However, audio recording is an exception. Why exactly? I don't know why. Okay, if you're not going to allow flash photography, it's okay, like fine, but like why are you making an exception for audio recording? You may as well allow video recording at that point. Like what? I understand that some of you need notes, especially the members of the press, but this is as far as we can go. With that said, I'll now begin. I relayed this news with a heavy heart. Last night, our own idol passed away. At midnight, Clace was murdered. The audience starts talking amongst themselves. I see several people scribbling down on notepads. The cause of death was asphyxiation, but it was under mysterious circumstances. It implies suicide, but that can't be true. Clace was not the type to do this, especially so close to the tour's launch. It's an impossibility, so please disregard it. Yeah, no, I like how this game implies that unless you were unless you have a serious mental illness, you couldn't possibly commit suicide. Even if you're the happiest fucking person on the outside, you can't possibly have depression. It's just not possible. With that said, I'll take questions. But please remain considerate today. Remember, we are in a state of grief. Singe, sir, I have a question if you're willing. This fucker. By all means, Fukumoto. Feel free to ask whatever you like. You mentioned the method of death, asphyxiation under mysterious circumstances. Exactly how is asphyxiation mysterious? A lack of oxygen is not mysterious. I'm afraid I'm a little confused. He sounds like a first grader. I'm gonna fucking kill someone. This is like the trial in Alice in Wonderland or whatever, where they're asking dumb fucking questions and then the jury is like, wow. The press and the audience starts nodding in agreement, as if this was the question on all their minds. You are correct, and I'm glad you asked, and I hope you ask the same to the police. They hastily branded these as suicides. Clace had these markings around his neck. They imply the use of a noose, but there was no noose at the scene. Well, then, that is definitely odd. Thank you for answering my question. How was it? What? I like how they're oh, the noose couldn't possibly have been taken from the crime scene. Fukumoto returns to his seat. I'm surprised he didn't twist any of Singe's words. Yeah, no, same, actually. This is why the official ruling is odd. The lack of evidence is very suspicious, and it implies several possibilities. The body may have been moved post-mortem, or the culprit made off with the evidence. Both point at the same shocking truth. These were murders, plain and simple. The affected families deserve the truth. Why were our loved ones taken from us, and who committed these egregious crimes? I stand here today speaking for the many, those who lost their husbands, their wives, even their children and siblings. The police must investigate this case. They cannot give up so easily, and they will have my full cooperation. There's one thing I want to accomplish. This case will be closed before we leave. We will return to America enlightened. 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 I don't think I would use the word enlightened for this kind of scenario, but okay. And to that end, I will move on to the subject of our world tour and precisely what would happen next. I am proud to announce we will continue. The world tour will go on as it was planned. How rude, but okay. You think the audience burst into the conversation again. It seems they weren't expecting this announcement. Yo, Sakurai dies. The Smash Ultimate character pass is still continuing, dudes. Holy shit. We will do what Clace would have wanted. Instead of backing down, we persevere. Daz will head the tour in his place. She has graciously agreed to this burden. I cannot thank her enough. Surely it is a monumental undertaking. He motions to the woman with yellow hair. Oh, interesting, so that's who she was. The lunch will turn into a memorial, not just for Clace, but for everyone, because we're going to blow up the fucking building with bombs. Every person affected by these deaths. A series of these hits will be performed, but Daz will sing some new songs as well. Shock and Rocker will stay to help out. We as a family will honor the lost, as well as launch Daz's new career. Trust me, she's very talented. I like how this, being turned into a vehicle to make Daz a pop star because the company doesn't want to lose cash. This was definitely a lot to take in. I guess they have a steady supply of idols. She must be talented enough to follow in Clace's shadow. I will open for questions one more time. This will be my last question, Singe, but I'm asking this as a friend. Who? Are you worried for the safety of Daz and of the Lucky 2? What if this culprit strikes again? What precautions have you taken? Actually, I'm not worried about this at all. There is no evidence of us being targeted, but there is a little more to explain. In fact, I have one last announcement, and I have full clearance to reveal these. Please do not assume I'm leaking any info. But have a seat while I continue. Very well. Now, this information is known only to me. I haven't revealed it to anybody, not even those involved with the tour. I have laced the buildings with bombs. What could it be? I notice Artron shifts uncontrollably in his seat. It looks like he's annoyed at hearing this. I'll be keeping everybody in here. I won't allow them to leave this building. But this is for a very specific reason. And it involves Armstrong Incorporated. Wait, he's keeping us in here? And what does this have to do with Armstrong? Artron's ears perk up and he looks visibly angry. I know Maxine Armstrong piqued curiosity. Her arrival in Tokyo was quite mysterious, but today we will reveal the truth. She gave me an offer when she had arrived. And I want protection for everybody here, both by hired guards and technology. This is the sole reason she's in Tokyo. She offered us the best of her services. We are safe now by so many means. It was all our doing. Unfortunately, we couldn't protect Clace. I feel somewhat at fault for his death. I caved in under some pressure. I initially had him on a tight leash. I didn't want him getting into trouble. But people said I was being too harsh. I decided to give him some freedom, and then look what it caused. I should have stuck to my gut feeling. I remember hearing something about that yesterday, that Clace was being kept on a really tight leash. They said it was because the public was scared of him, because the death started as soon as he arrived. I can see now this is not the real reason. Singe was just trying to keep him safe from harm. Yeah, trying to keep like a dead person okay, fine, shut up. Bullshit. I don't think the public was scared of Clace at all, but I apologize for getting off track there, but it was my answer to your question. That's why I'm not worrying anymore. For this time, I'll keep the leash tight. Nobody will be allowed to leave on my watch. Will be under constant surveillance. Further harm will be impossible. Everybody will now be protected. This time, I'll stick to my instinct. I will trust in the guard I have hired, and I will trust in Armstrong Incorporation. Yeah, no, in like a previous version of this game, it's made explicitly clear that not only did he rig the building with weapons, he rigged them with bombs. So keep in mind that he locked everyone in the building full of bombs that could go off at any minute because the owner of said bombs is there. So Artron jumps out of his chair at hearing this. I can hear loud growls coming from his mouth. He's fuming, unable to contain his anger. He must have been holding this in for a while. Singe, are you insane? What? Singe is definitely surprised at this interjection. The audience is as well, and they watch in fright. Explain yourself at once, Archeron. Think about what you're saying. You want to keep everybody inside after you've lined the place up with weapons? You've turned us all into sitting ducks. Armstrong's weapons can be hacked. They are not as foolproof as you think. Real manpower can never be replicated. You can be serious about this, Singe. Everyone important to Clace is in here, and now they're surrounded by weapons? How could you be so foolish? Artron pushes Singe back against the wall. He holds him in place by his white coat, but Singe remains calm and collected. The audience gaspes and watches on in awe. Of course. I read your psych evaluation, a seething hatred for Maxine Armstrong. I should have expected this outburst. Archeron, I advise you back down. You're the only compromising in your competition. If I fire you, she wins, right? Compromise, you say? You're the one compromising everything. You just told the world how to kill us all. Hack some weapons, set them off. We all need to evacuate immediately. Think logically, Archeron. These weapons are extremely high-tech. They can't be hacked as easy as you think. They need authorization codes to set off. Only myself and Maxine know these codes. Gee, I wonder who's gonna set off the bombs. We both desire protection, Archeron. I'll only use them if we are in danger. You'll believe I didn't think this through. But I'm not as stupid as you think. Yeah, sure, no. Like, what? I know exactly what I'm doing here. No, you fucking don't. These weapons are a last resort. No, they aren't. In case your expertise fell through. And it looks like it might be starting to. I suggest you let go of me. Return to your seat immediately, Archeron. You're only making a fool of yourself. You don't understand it like I do, Singe. Weapons cannot keep people safe. People are supposed to keep each other safe. You seem to be very worried, Archer. You're scared of an infinitely small thing like a bomb, a thing with almost impossible chances, you know, a bomb that anyone can set off. Why do you hate Armstrong so much? What did they take away from you? Archon releases his grip, but not calmly. He lets out a sharp growl in Singe's direction, and then he returns to his seat with a look of shame. Singe dusts off his lab coat with his hands, as if the altercation had made him dirty. That's a lab coat? Okay. I'm terribly sorry for that, folks. As you can see, we're all under duress. Part of why we said no for our photography. We're not ready for the spotlight just yet. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Refrain from reporting that incident. The audience nods in compliance. But please, report everything else, including the involvement of Armstrong. We thought it was the right time to know. She is here to protect, not to harm. This building is armed and ready with bombs, but not all of the weapons are lethal. We have non-lethal means as well. So this place is far from a death trap. Of course, sure, I believe you. I'll not use lethal weapons, that is, unless my hand is forced. We are protected in many, many ways, and both myself and Maxine share goals. We want everybody inside to stay alive. Yeah, no, sure. Thank you all for coming. Please leave of your own accord. What? You said they can't leave the fucking building. Please leave your... That's terrible to say. Singe bows to the audience and returns to his seat. They start to file out of the room. This is all a lot to take in. I don't really know how I should feel. I mean, am I a prisoner in here now? I'm not allowed to leave? That's not really cool at all. And we're surrounded by weapons? That does make me feel a little uneasy. Was Singe certain they couldn't be hacked or set off? Archer has been extremely smart and knowledgeable. Was this outburst as incorrect as Singe let on? Or were we potentially all in a... I mean, you're surrounded with bombs! What the hell do you think? I take a deep breath and try to relax. By the time I'm calm, the room is empty, save for those who were involved with the tour. Yo, the notary game? After a few moments pass, Singe turns to me. This is the first time he's addressed me directly. Well, he tries to just kill us, but it seems like he's lost in thought again. Well, that was a rather uneventful conference, never a shortage of quality entertainment. He smiles at us, seeming a lot more calm. Or perhaps it's like he's less professional. I guess he can relax a little after a speech like that. Being professional all the time would get tiring fast. I'm sorry about meeting like this. The circumstances are less than ideal. I was really looking forward to this. So, you're the leader then? The one in charge of all this? I guess you could say that, but delegation is my expertise. It's why I have people like Rook and Jade. I could never do this all by myself. I'd cave under the pressure pretty quick. Managerial duties are less than forgiving. I have to ask, why lock us up? Do you really think that's a good idea? At first I thought it was, but now I feel like it won't be easy. At least not while Acheron is here. Are you going to get rid of him then? No, of course not. He acclaimed the entire world over. There's no better candidate for this. Whether we agree on each other, though, well, it doesn't matter. He'll get the job done. He'd never risk his flawless resume. But I'd love to talk more personally. Would you two stop by my office? It's better with less prying ears. We have much to discuss together, and I'm sure you have many questions. I definitely do, like... Not here, kid, but I'd happily answer them in my office. For your reference, it's room 2A. Kilo nods and I do as well. It was definitely cool to be talking to the ringleader. I feel like he'd be able to answer all of our questions. There was more going on behind the scenes for sure. But I wonder, would he be sending us home, or would we just tour with Daz instead? He gives us another smile before walking away. Well, I guess I know where we're going, but I still have some stuff to think about. Meet me in front of room 2A when you're ready. Kilo walks away and exits the room. Everyone else must have left while we were talking, because now the room is completely empty. I wonder what's bothering him so much. He's taken an interesting turn in the last little bit. I think he said something about his past. He seemed uncool with getting involved with the media. Perhaps that's what he wanted to talk to Singe about. I stepped down from the stage and see someone there. I could have sworn the room was empty just a moment ago, but it's a familiar face, so I go on to greet them. It's Jade. I guess she never left the room.
Nice to see you again, Minato.
The insane bitch.
I almost thought I'd never get back. The media sure loves our limo. They couldn't legally touch it, though, so I just drove as slow as I could. Sure enough, they moved out of the way.
It was easy
to blend in after that. I came back pretending to be a civilian. It was a good conference considering. Except for Archon's outburst, of course, that seemed to startle everyone awake. It's been an early day, to say the least. But Singe is very professional. He played it off in a good way. He has a way of influencing people. And that's something I find admirable. He's teaching me and I have a lot to learn.
Learning PR from Singe? Much better than learning humor from Rook. At least she'll get the right information.
Well, I don't really have much to say. Just wanted to talk about a couple things. I wanted to say thanks for your visit, as well as putting up with my theories. A lot of people would have just walked away. But Clace's death shook things up. I don't really believe in that anymore. I mean, let me put it this way. I tried to invalidate his death, Minato. I immediately came up with theories. How could he still be alive? In my grief, I realized how stupid. It sounds like a children's fantasy. How could I have ever believed that?
If only she knew the stuff I had been through. I actually find it kind of funny. Roles have reversed. She throws away this belief and I embrace it.
Tell me you didn't believe what I said. You were clearly just humoring me, right?
I think what's really funny is that even though she's completely fucking right, I really wish that she wasn't. So I'm just gonna be like, fuck you. I tell her that I didn't believe her. It went against my experiences with Tara, however, so it isn't really my place to be saying this. But I wanted to keep her on our good side for now.
Thank you. I needed to hear that, but I wasn't comfortable asking anyone else. That's part of why I stayed behind. Anyway, I guess I should get going. I guess you'll be staying here now. Better make yourself comfortable, Minato. But between the two of us, that's not such a bad thing. There's plenty of
enemies. An enemy.
I'll be in touch when I sort things out. It'd be nice to get to know each other more, and we seem to have time on our hands.
She slowly walks away, rummaging through her file. I have to wonder, does she ever clock out? She's definitely the definition of married to work. Would you like to save your game? Fuck yeah, please. So this game has turned into a zero escape, and we can't escape because there's bombs. So we'll see what the deal is with that next time. Bye then.